Hi, this is Andrea for Beadaholique, and in this video I am going to show you how to make a simple 8-warp braid using a Kumihimo disc. Now Kumihimo is a Japanese braiding system that usually uses a wooden disc that is suspended on a very beautiful wooden stand. The Beadsmith has adapted this for ease of use into these foam discs. And here I just have a plain round Kumihimo foam disc. Also comes in square, and you can make flat braids with that. But what I'm going to show you today is just the most basic braid. It's the most common braid that you see done using Kumihimo. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a Kumihimo disc. You're going to need 2 packages of the Color Mix Rattail. You can buy any kind of Rattail you'd like. These packages come with pre-measured 4 pieces of Rattail per package, color coordinated. They're very handy. To do the 8-warp braid, obviously you're going to need 2 packages if they each come with 4. Each package produces an 18-inch braid. We're probably not going to use all of that because I think we're going to make a bracelet today. I chose 2 different sizes and 2 different colors. That's just a taste preference, and the reason I chose 2 different sizes is because the finished braid has a cool little twist to it. It's kind of a spiral effect, but if you want your braid to be all the same dimension all the way around, you would just use the same size. So I have a package of the Evergreen mix in the 2mm. It also comes in 3mm and 1mm. And I have a package of the Lilac in 3mm. Once again, also comes in the other 2 sizes. Also today, I have a package of bobbins. These are really, really handy when you're doing Kumihimo, or else you're going to have really long strands that are likely to get tangled. So I highly recommend using these bobbins. These are the 2.5-inch ones, and they come in a package of 8, perfect for our purposes. And last but not least, I like to use a weight to have a nice, even braid. So I rigged one up myself. This is from a steel dapping kit, so it's quite heavy, and then I just tied it on to a bulldog clip using some waxed cotton thread. So what you do to begin is you find one end of your threads here, and there's 4 different colors in each color mix package. So that's one end. I'm just going to unravel it here, and I will do the same with the green. Line all of your ends up. Thread them through one end of your weight. And tie an overhand knot. I'm going to give myself a little more slack. I'm going to take the long portion of my cord. I'm going to thread it up and through the center hole in my Kumihimo disc. I'm going to pull them all the way through. I'm going to pull it up until the weight, my homemade weight, is visible through the center. Now to get a spiral effect braid, I'm going to put, these are my starting points where the dots are. I'm going to put 2 of my wide threads, the 3mm ones, on either side of that starting dot. Another 2 of the wide threads on either side of that starting dot, and then the narrows around those 2. So I'm going to put the purple here, pink here, and these notches are just cut in the foam so that they hold onto your thread really nice and tight. Like I said, I need 2 more of my thick pieces around there. So I will do this lilac one right there, and then a royal purple one there. And I'm going to put my green thinner ones here and here. And here and here. I'm going to adjust my knot a little bit so that it is sitting in the center of the Kumihimo disc. The weight today that I'm using serves not really a very practical reason since it's resting on my desk here, but normally I would do the braiding up above an empty spot, like between my legs, so the weight will pull down the braid. Right now I'm just going to use my hand to kind of guide the braid through the disc. Now that I have my rat tail in position, I'm going to wind my excess thread up in each of these bobbins. Once you have wound your rat tail up inside the inside of the bobbin, you simply roll down the edge to snap it into place. Now that I have all of my rat tail wound up in their individual bobbins, I am ready to start braiding. Now if you notice, this is the start position. So the words are facing me and the dots are at north, south, east, west positions. To begin, I'm going to take the thread that is on the lower left hand, going to remove it from its slot and move it up to the slot between 30 and 31. So it's to the left of the two uppermost threads. I'm simply going to take the thread that is now to the right on the upper side, move it down to the right. This is the movement that you're going to do the entire time. You're just going to move the disc instead of figuring out where the next thread is going to go. It's really easy. You simply give it a quarter turn counterclockwise and do the same motion. Bottom left to top left, top right to bottom right. Turn again. Bottom left to top left, top right to bottom right. Turn. Bottom left, top right, bottom right, and turn. That's all there is to this. Now when you buy your Kumihimo disc, it will come with projects on the inside and instructions, but also very clear instructions on the back of how to do this simple 8-warp braid. So I'm going to show you now a braid that I've been working on for a little while. And as you can see, because I used two different size rat tails, it's coming out with a neat little swirl to it. And once again, if you want it to be all the same width all the way down, you would just use one size. So I'm going to continue with this one for a while and then I'll show you how to finish it off. So my braid now is over 6.5 inches long, and I want a little excess because I'm going to trim some of that off. And so I can remove it from the disc now and I can finish off my bracelet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the non-braided part, I'm going to squeeze it tightly, and I've got some clear tape. I'm going to tightly tape the end, as tight as I can get it. That looks good to me. Now I have these cool bead caps that are dome shaped, and I think they're going to fit quite nicely on the ends. But first I kind of have to measure. So it's probably about 3/8 of an inch deep. I'm going to cut off my end to about 1/4. So part of the wider braided part will sit right in there. Before you cut the end off to insert it inside your bead cap, I'm going to make a loop on my bead cap. Now the hole in the bead, and this particular bead cap is too big for most head pins, so it'll slide right through. So you just want to find a small little spacer, like a daisy spacer. It doesn't matter what color it is, just a tiny little one. And that'll prevent your head pin from going through the hole. And insert it in going outward, like so. Then I'm going to take a pair of round nose pliers and I'm going to make a wrapped loop. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off to about 1/4 inch. I'm just going to see if that fits and looks like it's snug. And that will work. So now what I want to do is I want to take my handy E6000 industrial strength glue. I'm just going to go ahead and put some on the end. I'm going to put a generous amount, but not too much, because I want it to be able to stay in this bead cap. I'm going to try not to get it all over the place. Press my bead cap on. Get rid of any excess that might be oozing out. And you are going to want to let this sit for a few hours. I'm going to go ahead and do this same treatment to the other end of my bracelet. Okay, now that both of your ends are on and hopefully dry, we're going to add the clasp. And all I have here is a jump ring that is approximately 8 or 9 millimeters. And I've got a hook. You can use any kind of clasp that you want for this. I'm simply going to open my jump ring and add it to 1/2 of my bracelet. Then as far as this clasp goes, the way I add this is I'm going to just twist that open like I would a jump ring. I'm going to thread it right through. And twist it closed. There you have your finished Kumihimo bracelet.